Okay, in this lesson we are going to talk about Taxable Accounts 101, and we're going to continue the conversation that we had in our last lesson, and we're going to take a closer look at how these taxable accounts work. And not only if you pay the taxes out of your lifestyle, but what if you decide to pay the taxes out of your account? How does that affect your taxable accounts? So in this lesson we're going to use our personal economic model to see how these taxable accounts fits into your specific situation. So first of all, you're going to earn income, and that income is going to flow through and pass through your tax filter first. Unlike a qualified plan like a 401k, you're actually putting money into your investments first without having to pay taxes, right? So it's pre-taxed. In this example, we're paying our taxes first. So then our money is going to go through the tax filter, and then we're going to take the money after we've paid our taxes and we're going to pump it up into either the safe tank or the risk tank. In this lesson, we're going to use the safe tank as an example, right? So this is after tax dollars that's going to be put into this tank. But this money is going to grow. It's going to compound interest. So the red represents that tax that you're going to have to pay on the growth of your account, okay? And this interest is going to be taxable, okay? Then your taxes are going to be paid annually. Now, whether you pay those out of your lifestyle or out of this account, that's what we'll look at next, okay? So let's look first at paying taxes from the account. If you're going to pay taxes from the account, as your account grows, you're going to have to pay those taxes. All right, and that's going to go through the tax filter, right? So you're going to grow, you're going to, reduce your account balance because your account's going to grow, but then we're going to take some of that money and pay the taxes. It's going to grow, we're going to take some of that money, we're going to pay the taxes, right? So it slows that compounding interest. The compounding interest isn't quite able to grow without having to pay those taxes, and as you pay those taxes, we're losing that money. Just like we talked about in the last lesson, what is the opportunity cost of paying that money in taxes if you didn't have to? That money could have been compounding, right? So this slows the compounding. Now let's talk about paying taxes from your current lifestyle. So if you pay taxes from your current lifestyle, you're going to take income, and that's going to reduce your outflow, right? Because some of that income is going to be paid in taxes because of the growth of this account. Now, your account, of course, is going to have a higher balance because it's just going to keep compounding, and all that growth is going to be taxed, but it's going to be taxed out of your current lifestyle, therefore affecting the spendable income that you have. Now, once again, remember, opportunity cost is going to be the theme of this whole course, and that is, if we didn't have to pay these taxes, what could that money have done for us? All right, so in conclusion, here are some things to consider. First of all, the access to the money may be limited by account restrictions, depending on where you have it. Right? It might not be where you can readily access that money in case of an emergency or if you need it. Now, if it's in the bank, that's easy to get to. If it's tied up in some sort of an investment where you have to sell off some stocks or sell off something and you may not want to sell it when the market's down, you got to consider the timing of it and whether or not you have access to it. You also have to consider the return potential. If you're putting your money into the bank, then you got to realize that you might not be earning much money. Whereas if you put your money somewhere else, you have to understand the risks associated with that and the availability of the money and things like that. Also, if you're putting your money into a savings account, you have to consider the impact on future purchasing power because of inflation. Because if you're earning less than 1% in a savings account, not only is it being taxed, but of course, you're losing money because inflation is typically a higher rate than what you're earning on your savings account. And then also consider that if you have money readily available, maybe you have a bunch of money in the bank, this money is available to creditors. Let's say that one of your kids gets in a car accident and there's a major lawsuit involved. That money could be accessible depending on what kind of insurance you have. That money could be accessible to lawsuits and creditors. So these are just some of the things to consider as you're putting money into a taxable account. Now, in our next lesson, we're going to dive into the Tax Master and really get in deep into this topic now that we've kind of built the foundation of taxable accounts. So Click on the next lesson.